Alright, Budget Magic, Ulamog Exile. How's this one looking? Yeah, reasonable. What are we up against? Something with planes. Ooh. Gideon, eh? Well, this seems like a good matchup. Hopefully. Another Silk Wrap. Well, if they're playing White Weenie, Silk Wrap is good. We are going to want lands eventually, though. Swamp for Wasteland Strangler would be nice. Oh, maybe this is like Abzan aggro? Hair of the Wilds. So what are we getting? Kytheon or Heir of the Wilds? Ooh, another Plains. Alright. Well, I guess we will get rid of the Heir of the Wilds here. Would be nice if we could draw a Swamp. Tap land. That's good. Means we don't have to worry too much about anything coming down this turn. Ugh, Utter End. Well, I guess we're just going to go second Silk Wrap, since we don't have anything else we can do. Black. We need a black source. Come on, Swamp. We are blunting the Assault nicely, though. And we have a Stasis Snare for a Rhino. That is a Rhino. We are just enchanting our way along for now. Oh my goodness. Still not getting a Swamp. Well, we get to Stasis Snare the Rhino. If we were drawing lands, I think we'd be heavily favored. but we're not. If our opponent just has like another Rhino, which apparently they don't. So I think a Swamp wins us the game. Do we draw one? Yes. Ah, there we go. Alright, so we're just going to pass the turn for now. Well, actually, yeah, let's just pass the turn. We can Utter End the Heir of the Wilds, if we so want to, so desire. I think we might as well. Exiled 4 things so far. Lots of exiling. We have plenty of things for a Blight Herder if we get one more land. Den Protector by the looks. Ah, alright. Now we get to Blight Herder and put a couple of the cards under our Silk Wraps into the graveyard. Flips to Den Protector. Gets back something. Kytheon, Heir of the Wilds. Doesn't especially matter. Whatever it is, gets back Kytheon. Think we're in good shape now. These are the matchups that I really... they feel like they're really good matchups. Like Abzan mid-range, 5-color, Bring to Light. Those are the decks that we want to be playing. Esper Dragons is tricky, especially if they have infinite obliteration, which sometimes they do. And aggro, I think we have a decent matchup, but it really depends on us drawing the right cards. So our opponent have double Abzan Ascendancy, which seems cool till you realize that we have more exiles in our hand. So we take our beats down to 8. We'll Utter End the Den Protector. attack with everything. Puts our opponent down to 9. We know the last card is that Kytheon, and then whatever they drew this turn. There's Kytheon. Well, we're just going to keep attacking, I think. Swamp? Play the swamp. Alright, we'll attack with everything again. Is our opponent going to block here? Yep, blocks our Blight Herder, which is acceptable. Makes it indestructible. Sure. So we get in for 3. And then I guess we'll just pass the turn. We can always grip a Desolation if we want to on something. Herald of Dramoka. Kytheon is not a warrior. It's an odd choice. I wonder his Hair of the Wilds is a warrior. I guess that's what they're going for. So Kytheon gets in there. Not even sure, do we want a Grip of Desolation? I guess we should, so we can attack. Grip of Desolation. It does get them a couple tokens from Abzan Ascendancy. And our opponent scoops it up. Interesting Abzan build. Do we want Arishan Clerics? I think we want Ultimate Price. That much is certain. We can take out a Grip of Desolation. Maybe 2 Grips of Desolation. I don't think we need the Clerics. They don't block Air of the Wilds very well. Alright, game 2 against Abzan something. Yeah, a lot like last hand. Really good if we draw a Swamp. And I guess passable without a Swamp. Get to Silk Lash, and then eventually use that on Wasteland Strangler. Mardu Woe Reaper. Swamp? Well, second Silk Lash isn't bad. At least that's something we can play while we're waiting to draw more lands. Yep, so we'll go down to 18 here from the Woe Reaper. Does our opponent have a follow-up? Looks like. Could be a Air of the Wilds, maybe. Yep. Alright, so we are going to... Haha, that's a Swamp. Excellent. So we'll just get rid of the Air of the Wilds with Silk Clash, and that sets us up to Wasteland Strangler on something next turn. So much removals. Wasteland Strangler looks pretty big for a 3-power creature. Okay. Sneaky. They use Abzan Advantage to get rid of our Silk Lash. Or Silk Wrap? Silk Wrap. Yeah, so I think we just... Well, maybe we kill it right now. We can just Titan's Presence, reveal Wasteland Strangler, get rid of the Woe Reaper. And that way we're guaranteed to have a card in Exile for Wasteland Strangler. That Abzan Advantage kind of set us back a turn. And if our opponent plays a Rhino or something, we can get that with Stasis Snare. Alright, doesn't look like a Rhino because they should play it before combat to get the Ferocious on Air of the Wilds. Another Woe Reaper, sure. Another Read the Bones. Well, that will be good eventually, but we're just going to strangle this Air of the Wilds, putting the Woe Reaper in the graveyard. And then we will definitely block with our Wasteland Strangler. I think we are the control deck in this matchup. And we have a pretty control-y hand. If we can stabilize enough to start casting Read the Bones, I'll feel like we're in pretty good shape. So snap off that block. No doubts. And nothing? Alright. Well, we are definitely going to Read the Bones to try to find some lands. Get rid of the Stasis Snare. We'll keep the plains. 2 plains. That works. Finally getting some lands. So now we have Utter End online. If our opponent plays something bigger. Heir of the Wilds. Ooh, Oblivion Sower. Almost time for Oblivion Sower. Well, let's Silk Wrap, get rid of Heir of the Wilds. And I guess we'll just Read the Bones again. Make sure we have another land for next turn. Let's just bottom both of these. I really want to cast Oblivion Sower next turn. Maybe that was a mistake. Thought we would hit a land there, hopefully. We could have kept Scoured Barrens. It technically is land. They draw a Rhino. That's a Rhino. Well, Rhino is better off being utter-ended. Just so it can't come back from an enchantment removal spell. Because that is pretty devastating. Well, at least now, next turn, we can play our Blight Herder, since we exiled the Siege Rhino. Unless we draw a land, then we'll just go with Oblivion Sower. Yeah. We'll just go with Oblivion Sower now then. Get some more lands, hopefully. Oblivion Sower, way more powerful than I thought. Well, actually, I thought Oblivion Sower was really powerful, but after playing with it, I've been very impressed. It is just as powerful as I thought. So I think we're in pretty decent shape. Does our opponent actually have something? Wingmate Rock, but they don't have Raid, which makes it much less threatening. And it can actually be Silk Wrapped. Ooh, and an Ulamog. Well, we'll get in there. I think we're going to be greedy, since casting Ulamog is so sweet. We're going to play Oblivion Sower. Trust that we hit an untapped land, which we do. And now we can Silk Wrap. Oh. Oh. For some reason I was thinking power 3 or less. That was a punt on my part. Converted mana cost 3 or less. Well, I don't think it matters. Even if they have Abzan Charm, it still doesn't kill us. And we can Stasis Snare it. Kytheon. Well, let's Wasteland Strangler. Kill Kytheon by putting Heir of the Wilds into the graveyard. Then we will attack with everything. And then we'll just wait and Stasis Snare during combat. That way, if our opponent happens to have enchantment removal, we're not going to get blown out. If we did it during our turn, our opponent could respond with instant speed enchantment removal and have a lethal threat. This way, our opponent gains a life, which is irrelevant, but we don't die, no matter what. Stasis Snare is pretty good, too. Instant speed makes it way better than Journey to Nowhere. I think even with the extra mana, I think it might be better than Journey to Nowhere. Instant speed is a huge deal on removal spells. And that should do it. I mean, that's what this deck wants to do. I mean, we just kind of drew what we needed and cruised right on through. Alright, I'll be back with another.